going back to January 6th, 2021, the Joint Chiefs made it abundantly clear right out of the chute, before any other hijinks ensued, that they were not going to be a part of this. The little confab he had there in front of the Capitol, sending his minions over there, they made it abundantly clear, apparently, but especially behind closed doors and behind back channels, in no way, shape, or form is the Army going to participate in this. And I think he's looking at that going, well, that, screw them. I'm going to have, honorable, order abiding, we're just following order.
Upset on the other side for their refusal to crack down on Black Lives Matter. Remember, that was a big thing too. He wanted the military to be deployed against, anti-police brutality protesters, and they said they wouldn't.
Well, and that's exactly right. So he wants a hierarchy in the armed forces that will do his bidding, and he can say, come to, they're not supposed to, use the force against American citizens, which is, a good thing. I think we can all agree on this one, but he wants to come in and use it against protests, against, cleaning up cities. He's already sent National Guard down to the border. He's also using them to helping ICE round up undocumented workers. So, going forward, this is the positioning of these pieces, and he's doing it at a breakneck speed. You and I both are aware when Hitler ascended to power and was named chancellor, he and his loyalists in the Reichstag moved very quickly to diminish, erode, and effectively eradicate democratic institutions, and the firewalls and all the other governors that are in position to take care of and prevent abuse of power. Well, this seems to be a breakneck speed of, breaking down those barriers. And is this 1933? Not literally. What's the old line, Ted? History doesn't repeat itself; it echoes.
It rhymes.
It rhymes, and this rhymes with it, but it does not exactly it. And I think Trump is looking at, how can I conjure, going back to nothing that he says he's offended by is what he's offended by. He's looking at personal affronts. He's looking at what the Army did not allow him to do in 2021. And he's looking at, I mentioned Panama, about that Panamanian government did not allow him to build his towers. That's what motivates this guy. So, a congealing power. He felt embarrassed and emasculated by the House and Senate when he first ascended to office in 2017. He's going to take care of that. He's emasculated them. Now that they are, I don't know that they serve much of a purpose. It's answering the question, is this 1933? It's not it exactly, but it sure rhymes with it. Do you disagree?
I think there's certain things that do and certain things that don't. I think it boils down to, we don't really know what Trump's after. I mean, we can only speculate. I mean, it seems to me like, I would think that he, like any president, would want to be remembered fondly. He knows he's at the end of his life. He knows that, I think he's been insulted and diminished by elites ever since he was young, and starting out as a business person in New York. And I think he probably thinks this is his opportunity to, I think he would like to be 100 years from now, like revered as like one of the greats, like Lincoln, FDR, Washington. And I think so. He knows he has to do that. He has to do some big things, and he has to do some unusual things. I mean, let's face it. Kind of like in the same way that, Hitler built the Autobahn, Trump's doing some good things. I mean, reaching out to Russia to try to bring a conclusion to the Ukraine war, which, like it was just grinding on. It was just going to kill people and waste more money and destroy more buildings. And that's all it was going to do. That's great. There's all sorts of, I mean, even the idea of the Doge $5,000 check that each American might get. part of me
Yeah.
thought, okay, that's dumb, or it should be used to pay down the deficit. But then part of me thought, the PPP payments under Biden, they did a lot of good for the economy. I knew lots of people who were able to pay off credit card debts that had been haunting them for years. It got them, sort of on their feet again. $5,000 is a lot of money for most Americans. And so I'm just saying that, like, it's a mixed bag, but it was for Trump. I mean, for Hitler too. Hitler did some really brilliant stuff with the economy. He reduced unemployment. He basically invented the idea of the treasury bond, which raised all sorts of money that the government wouldn't have otherwise been able to get to finance infrastructure rebuilding. And I think you're going to see Trump. What Trump is doing is he appears to be like co-opting some of the greatest hits of the left, like pacifism, anti-war, putting the country first, economic nationalism, things that the Democrats have abdicated, and that's kind of brilliant. But this is all a way of saying, it's a complicated way, a long-winded way of saying, I don't know. It's like, I think the test we haven't seen the test, right? Like, if there were a broad-based anti-Trump protest movement, would he be content to let that play out, or would he try to crush it ruthlessly? We don't know what he would do in terms of the judiciary. If the Supreme Court tells him there's certain things he can't do, like mass deportations are happening at a very slow pace compared to what he wanted. If the Supreme Court just like gets in the way, is he just going to ignore them? Well, that's a constitutional crisis by definition. People are talking about, we're in a constitutional crisis now. No, we're not.
Not yet.
Right now, he's just issuing a blizzard of executive orders. I am worried about so many executive orders, just because it's not so much that there are so many executive orders as much as the fact that there's no legislation being offered, right? I mean,
yeah,
why not? I mean, it's like he has a Republican House and a Republican Senate. That's all you need.